It has been 28 years since Dawson's Creek. The kid who played Joey Potter was just 19 years old. Let that sink in. Today, let's see where the entire cast truly is in 2026. Today, let's step away from the noise of the modern world, honor the brilliant cast who shaped who we are, and see their beautiful journeys in 2026. Bringing absolute magic to our screens at number 1 is Katie Holmes. She was just 19 years old when she first walked into Capeside, clutching her books and hiding the biggest heart on television. In 2026, she is 47 years old, and watching her carry the decades with such effortless elegance, you understand why the world never stopped watching. Joey Potter was more than a character. She was permission. Permission for every quiet girl who felt unseen to believe that she too was worthy of the greatest love story. Joey taught a whole generation that intelligence was beautiful, that vulnerability was brave, and that you didn't have to shrink yourself to be loved. How many of us, in our worst moments, whispered, "What would Joey do?" Here's a piece of trivia that will make you smile. Katie Holmes was the only cast member to appear in all 128 episodes of Dawson's Creek. Every single one. Not one scene without her. And behind that dedication, there was a girl from Toledo, Ohio, who scored 1,310 on her SATI and was accepted to Columbia University, before choosing to follow her dream instead. And what a dream it became. From Rachel Dawes in Batman Begins to Jackie Kennedy in The Kennedys, from making her directorial debut with All We Had in 2016 to directing Rare Objects in 2023 to starring in a Broadway revival of Our Town in 2024, and most recently an off-Broadway revival of Hedda Gabler in San Diego in 2026. She has never stopped growing. She is raising her daughter Suri with grace and intentionality. She is, in every sense, the woman Joey Potter always promised she would become. At number 2, the irreplaceable soul of the show, Michelle Williams. She was just 17 years old when she walked onto that dock in Capeside, the girl from the big city with secrets too heavy for her shoulders. In 2026, she is 45 years old, and she has become, without question, one of the greatest actresses of her generation. Jen Lindley was television's most radical act of compassion in the 1990s. She was the girl the world judged, and through her, we learned to stop judging. She showed us that a person could be broken and still be worthy of love. For every teenager who felt like the wrong kind of girl, Jen Lindley was a lifeline thrown across the screen. Did you know that Michelle Williams gained legal emancipation from her parents at just 15 years old to pursue her acting career? The same fierce independence that Jen Lindley wore like armor, that was Michelle in real life all along. Since Dawson's Creek, she has amassed 5 Academy Award nominations, 3 Golden Globe victories for My Week with Marilyn, 2011, Fosse/Verdon, 2019, and in one of 2025's most celebrated performances, the FX series Dying for Sex, for which she took home yet another Golden Globe. It was also Michelle who, with her heart in both hands, organized the Dawson's Creek class reunion at the Richard Rodgers Theater in New York City in September 2025, gathering the entire cast together for a night that moved every soul in that room. She is a devoted mother to her daughter Matilda, and she is married to director Thomas Peil. In a Hollywood that so often chews people up, Michelle Williams has built something rare, a life of integrity, artistry, and love. If you thought those journeys were breathtaking, wait until you see who is coming up next, because the eternal Pacey Witter has had one of the most fascinating roads of anyone on this entire cast. Bringing absolute joy to our screens at number 3 is Joshua Jackson. He was 20 years old when Pacey Witter first leaned against a doorframe and made half the world fall in love. In 2026, he is 47 years old, and the years sit on him like a story worth reading. Pacey Witter was the boy who loved harder than he was supposed to. He was the underdog who made us believe that the person who shows up, who chooses you again and again, is the real hero. For anyone who ever felt like the second choice, Pacey was a hand reaching through the screen saying, "You are enough. You are more than enough." A piece of trivia that feels almost impossibly charming: Joshua Jackson attended the same high school in Vancouver as actor Ryan Reynolds, two future stars, sharing hallways, neither of them knowing what was coming. After Dawson's Creek, Joshua built a second act that rivals the first. Fringe, The Affair, Little Fires Everywhere, Dr. Death, and Fatal Attraction. He even appeared in the 2025 film Karate Kid: Legends. He has a daughter he adores. And through every chapter, he has remained exactly who Pacey always was. Someone who shows up. At number 4, the irreplaceable burst of sunshine that joined Dawson's Creek in Season 5. Busy Phillips. Born Elizabeth Jean Phillips on June 25, 1979 in Oak Park, Illinois, she is 46 years old in 2026, and she hasn't stopped radiating light for a single second. Audrey Liddell did something revolutionary for the show. She gave Joey Potter permission to exhale. She was laughter as a life raft. She was the friend who showed up at 2 a.m. and asked no questions. How many of us have been lucky enough to have an Audrey in our lives? And how many of us became one because of her? Here is a behind-the-scenes treasure. Dawson's Creek is where Busy Phillips and Michelle Williams became best friends, a friendship that has now lasted over 25 years. Through breakups and heartbreaks and every season of life, those two have remained each other's person. From Freaks and Geeks to Cougar Town to Girls, 5 Eva Busy has never stopped working. She is a mother to daughters Birdie and Cricket, and she is someone who has chosen, again and again, to be radically, unapologetically herself. Her 40s, she has said, have been the best chapter yet. Looking at her, it is impossible not to believe her. While some embraced the spotlight, our next star chose a path no one fully saw coming, and it is one of the most quietly beautiful transformations in this entire cast. At number 5, the irreplaceable soul who made history, Kerr Smith. He was 26 years old when Jack McPhee first walked into Capeside, carrying a secret that he wasn't yet ready to tell. In 2026, he is 54 years old, and the journey from that screen to where he stands today is nothing short of remarkable. Jack McPhee was one of network television's first gay characters to receive a fully realized, tender love story. In 1999, a year when the world was not yet ready, Jack kissed another young man on primetime television, and something shifted. For every teenager watching alone in their bedroom, wondering if they were wrong for feeling what they felt, Jack McPhee was a door cracking open. He didn't just entertain us, he protected people. After Dawson's Creek, Kerr Smith continued acting in Charmed, The Fosters, and Riverdale. But here is the chapter that will make you pause. Alongside his wife Lisa, Kerr now co-runs Terra Life Wellness, a health and wellness consulting business. Instead of chasing Hollywood's revolving door, he chose to build something real, something rooted, something that helps people live better. That is not a retreat from greatness. That is greatness, wearing different clothes. Bringing such tender warmth to our screens at number 6 is Meredith Monroe. She was in her late 20s when Andie McPhee arrived in Capeside, a girl battling invisible demons with visible courage. In 2026, she is 57 years old, and she carries those years with the quiet dignity of someone who knows exactly who she is. Andie McPhee was the show's most honest portrayal of mental health in a teenage body. Long before the world began having those conversations openly, Andie sat with her pain on screen every week and said to every viewer who suffered in silence, "You are not alone. You are not broken. And there is a way through." She was, in the truest sense, a comfort. A beautiful piece of trivia: Meredith Monroe has been married to her husband Stephen Cavavit since 1999, the very year Dawson's Creek was at its peak. Over 2 decades of love, built quietly alongside one of TV's most emotionally demanding roles. Since the show, she has worked steadily in Criminal Minds, 13 Reasons Why, and Heart of Dixie. After the passing of James Vanderbeek in February 2026, Meredith took time before sharing a beautiful tribute, writing that his legacy was his light, and that he shared that light through his humor, his presence, and his ability to make every single person around him feel seen. Some people don't need 1,000 words. That was enough. If you thought this cast had already given us everything, hold on, because the next 3 remind us that the beating heart of Capeside was never just the young. It was the whole family. At number 7, the irreplaceable father of Capeside, John Wesley Shipp. He was 43 years old when Mitch Leery first pulled Dawson into an imperfect, beautiful hug. In 2026, he is 71 years old, and every year on him looks like earned wisdom. Mitch Leery was something rare in 1990s television, a father who tried. Not a perfect man, not a man without flaws, but a man who showed up, who loved loudly, who made mistakes and apologized for them. For every viewer who grew up without that kind of father, Mitch Leery was the father they borrowed on Tuesday nights. John Wesley Shipp is one of the great survivors of television. Long before Mitch, he played the original Barry Allen in the 1990 series The Flash, and then, decades later, returned to the Arrowverse as a beloved elder statesman of the same superhero universe. 2 Flashes, 2 generations, 1 extraordinary career. Bringing such steadfast grace to our screens at number 8 is Mary-Margaret Holmes. She was 44 years old when Gail Leery first welcomed us into that Capeside house. In 2026, she is 72 years old, and the warmth she carried on that screen has never dimmed. Gail Leery was the mother who showed us that women were allowed to be complicated. She was imperfect and real and human in ways that 1990s television rarely permitted mothers to be. For every daughter who watched her mother struggle and didn't know how to bridge the gap, Gail Leery quietly said, "Your mother is more than her role. She is a person, too." After the passing of James Vanderbeek in February 2026, Mary-Margaret Holmes wrote one of the most heartbreaking farewells of any cast member, sharing that their last conversations, just days before he passed, were sitting softly in her heart for safekeeping. In 35 years in this industry, there are those who play roles and those who become family. She was always the second kind. And at number 9, the Queen of Capeside, the woman who held the entire moral universe of the show in her 2 hands, Mary Beth Peil. She was 57 years old when Grams first pursed her lips and opened her heart. In 2026, she is a magnificent 85 years old, and she is, without question, a living legend. Grams was the character who taught us that love and faith and forgiveness could coexist in one small body. She was strict because she cared. She was hard because she was protecting something. And in the end, she bent, beautifully, completely, for her granddaughter Jen. For every viewer who ever hoped their grandmother would simply understand, Grams was the answer they prayed for. Here's a piece of trivia that will stop you in your tracks. Mary Beth Peil is a 2-time Tony Award winner and the celebrated opera singer. When Michelle Williams accepted her performer tribute at the 2022 Gotham Awards, she looked into the audience and said, "Mary Beth Peil was the first artist I had ever met in my life." From The Good Wife to Katie Keene, she has never stopped working. At 85, she is still here, still radiant, still everything Grams ever promised she would be. And now, we pause. We set down our countdown, because there is someone who deserves not a number, but a moment of silence that lasts as long as it needs to. James Van Der Beek, the boy from Cheshire, Connecticut, the dreamer, the filmmaker, the face of a generation. He was 21 years old when Dawson Leery first pointed his camera at the world and believed with every molecule in his body that stories could save people. And for millions of us, they did. On February 11th, 2026, after 3 years of fighting colorectal cancer with what his wife Kimberly called courage, faith, and grace, James Van Der Beek left this world at the age of 48. He is survived by Kimberly and their 6 children: Olivia, Joshua, Annabelle, Amelia, Gwendolyn, and Jeremiah. In November 2024, he had announced his diagnosis publicly with characteristic honesty, writing, "I've been dealing with this privately until now, getting treatment and dialing in my overall health with greater focus than ever before." And in September 2025, too unwell to stand on the stage of the Richard Rodgers Theater at the reunion his castmates had organized in his honor, he sent a pre-recorded message, his voice warm and full of love. He told them all that they were his angels. He meant it. Beyond Dawson Leery, James found joy in reinvention. In Don't Trust the Bit in Apartment 23, he played a hilarious, self-deprecating version of himself and reminded the world that the best artists never stop laughing. He lived on a ranch in Texas with his family and spoke often about the peace he found in simple things: the land, his children, the morning. He was every boy who ever stared at the sky and believed that what he felt mattered. He was every dreamer told they were too much, who kept dreaming anyway. They may have left this world, but every time we press play, they come back to life, wrapping us in the warmth of our childhood. Time for a confession. Which cast member from this legendary show was your absolute biggest childhood crush? Or did I leave out a legendary character? Let me know in the comments. And if you could go back in time to the exact living room where you first watched Dawson's Creek, with the theme song playing, the world outside quiet, and everything still possible, who would be sitting next to you on the couch one more time? Honor your loved ones below, and subscribe to keep our golden childhood memories alive.